Let me tell you something most people never stop to notice. The ones who don't speak much usually understand the most. While everyone else rushes to fill the silence with noise, they sit quietly, observing, absorbing, noticing everything. They're not distant, they're paying attention. They're not timid, they're thinking ahead. They're not emotionless, they're protecting what matters, their peace, their energy, their deeper understanding of life. Silence isn't a void. It's filled with all the truths others are too loud to hear. If you've ever been called too quiet, I want you to hear this. That quietness isn't a flaw. It's a form of wisdom that the loud rarely understand. Let me share a truth most people will never understand. There are people in this world who speak very little, not because they have nothing to say, but because they see far more than others ever notice. They watch how people move, how they interrupt, how they pretend to listen but only wait for their turn to talk. Quiet people notice every tiny detail. Those flickers of emotion that pass across someone's face, the tension in a voice, the shift in energy when someone enters the room. They're the ones sitting at the edge of the noise, not cut off from it, but fully aware of everything happening inside it. And here's what most people get wrong. Quiet doesn't mean clueless. Quiet doesn't mean weak. Quiet doesn't mean uninterested. It simply means selective. They don't waste words. They don't speak just to escape silence. They only talk when there is something genuine to be said, something meaningful, something true. They're not silent because they're scared. They're silent because they're thinking, evaluating, observing, understanding. And while everyone else rushes to fill the air with noise, quiet people are building entire interpretations of what's really going on. They take in more information in one moment of stillness than most do in a day of constant talking. People may label them as shy, awkward, or distant, but that's only because the loud can't comprehend. The art of internal processing, quiet. People are playing chess in a world where most are still learning checkers. So, if you're someone who stays silent more often than you speak, never forget this. Your quietness isn't an absence of voice. It's the presence of awareness, a skill the world desperately needs but rarely appreciates. Silence has a reputation it doesn't deserve. Most people treat it like an empty space, something awkward that must be filled, something uncomfortable they need to escape from. But to a quiet mind, silence is a weapon, a sanctuary, a way of seeing the truth without distraction, because when the mouth is still, the mind becomes sharp. You start hearing what isn't said, the hesitation behind a confident voice, the insecurity wrapped in a joke, the frustration hiding beneath a smile. A quiet person can read the room like it's a book written just for them. They notice the stories behind the stories, the quick glance between two people, the shift in posture when a topic comes up, the difference between what someone says and what they actually mean. Silence gives them access to the hidden layer of life. While the loud speak to prove a point, the quiet pay attention to the point that's being made. They take mental notes. They store possibilities. They analyze motives before trusting words, and this makes them unpredictable, not to themselves but to everyone who underestimates them. People assume silence equals uncertainty. But often, silence is certainty without the need for approval. A quiet person holds their thoughts close, not because they doubt them, but because they know their value. They understand that words once spoken lose their power, so they choose them carefully. They are the thinkers before action, the listeners before judgment, the ones who walk through noise without letting it invade their inner world. So the next time you sit there quietly, remember this. Silence isn't a void. It's depth, it's intuition. It's awareness in its highest form. It's the place where wisdom grows, and the world finally reveals its truth. There's a quiet strength that lives inside people who don't rush to speak. It isn't loud, it isn't showy, but it is unmistakable. Quiet people understand something the world forgets. Energy is a currency, and they refuse to spend it where it won't matter. While others drain themselves trying to be seen or heard, the quiet ones invest their energy with precision. They choose when to engage, when to retreat, and when to simply observe the chaos from a peaceful distance. They are calm not because life is easy for them, but because they've learned the art of protecting their inner world. Every interaction costs something: time, emotion, attention. So they don't hand those things out like free samples. They conserve. They preserve. They set boundaries without ever needing to announce them. And here's the twist. That calm exterior is often the result of surviving storms most people never saw. Quiet people have fought battles in silence. They have rebuilt themselves internally, without applause, without comfort, without witnesses. Their silence isn't empty. It's filled with every lesson life forced them to learn alone. When they speak, it's intentional. When they care, it's genuine. When they choose someone, it's real. Because they don't just give themselves away. They are careful with their trust because they know how deeply they feel. They are measured with their responses because they know how powerful words can become. And they stay composed because chaos doesn't deserve control over them. So if you ever notice someone sitting quietly while the world spins loudly around them, understand this. That stillness you're witnessing, it's strength, it's resilience. It's a soul that refuses to break just to fit in. Quiet people don't need to prove their power. They are their power, with or without a single word. If you've ever been told you're too quiet, let me speak directly to you for a moment. People often fear what they cannot read, and they cannot read you, because there is more happening in your silence than in most people's noise. You don't speak just to fill the air, and that confuses those who rely on attention to feel alive. But your inner world is rich, full of thoughts, observations, dreams, ideas that others would never imagine because they're too busy talking to think. You understand that words are powerful, so you treat them with respect. You know that your presence alone can change the atmosphere of a room, not by demanding attention, but by changing the energy quietly. You have a depth that many people will never have the patience to explore. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to understand you. Some people will mistake your peace for weakness. They will mislabel your silence as discomfort. They will think your boundaries are walls. But you and I know the truth. You stay quiet because your mind is loud. You stay calm because your heart feels deeply. You hold back because you see further than what's right in front of you. There is a certain kind of intelligence that doesn't need a spotlight, and it lives in you. So the next time someone tries to shrink you just because you don't shout your existence into the world, remember this. The ocean doesn't roar to prove its depth. The moon doesn't speak to influence the tides. Your silence is not emptiness. It is power under control. You are not too quiet. You are precisely as quiet as you need to be in a world that speaks too fast and thinks too slow.